Good evening. It's Thursday night, and we're in the middle of our first week. And I just thought I'd like to check in with everybody and see how things are going. And in my estimation, things seem to be going pretty well. We've heard from just about everyone. And the first discussion is shaping up kind of nicely. And the biggest thing I want to say about it, and something I'm very, very happy with, is that you are definitely keeping the issues big. And what this does, it allows us to really kind of broaden our horizons and understand about the big picture, the economics, the background of sport and sport business and what it's all about, which is something I always try to present early on and make sure that we're doing that. Because sometimes we can get bogged down in the details, or we get bogged down in our passions and our emotions and our fandom, and that's a significant reality. So I think people are doing a great job of keeping it up with the big issues and trading views with each other on that level. I think that's excellent. Um, First of all, too, this week's discussion really helps me set up the next 7 weeks, because it shows what issues concern people and maybe what issues we need to develop a little deeper understanding on. One of the most popular topics in your post seems to be talking about the payment of college athletes. And as I said, as a college coach on, yes, a much smaller plane, a Division II coach, what happens in Division I tends to trickle down through the rest of college athletics, and a lot of the concepts are the same. So I would really like to make sure that I do spend some time on that issue in a week or two, maybe 3, because I think it's really, really important, and it's really interesting to see what people understand about that issue. For instance, I can tell just by my first reading of all the posts so far that you folks have some good opinions on it and some good information, and you definitely have more knowledge than the average proverbial man in the street. But boy, there are an awful lot of misconceptions held by an awful lot of people not in this class that you're going to get bombarded with that could shape your thinking. So I'm going to hope that we can spend some time there and clear some things up. I've read some real interesting concepts too so far. Question of long-term deals in baseball, and that's a real interesting one. Of course, we worry about now streaming technology versus the traditional TV technology, putting people in front of a screen instead of putting people in a stadium. Several people have mentioned fantasy sports, things like that. These were things that, honestly, when I first started teaching this course, weren't really around. We weren't doing anything. And just in a short span of a little less than 10 years, the whole picture's changed. So this is really a great exercise for all of us. If you haven't had the chance to jump in and get into that discussion, do so. It's a good one. And keep going through material, find material, introduce material, let us know what you need, and let's just set up so we can learn from each other. Okay, great start. Looking forward to going through this. Weekend maybe just a little rocky for me with travel time. As you can see, I'm wearing my coach's sweatshirt here. I am traveling down to Orlando on Sunday, so I will be coming to you maybe a little later in the evening Sunday than I might otherwise. We actually have Post Men's Tennis. We'll be in Orlando for the week, and we have our first match Monday morning against RPI. The team is actually traveling a little ahead of me. I'll be joining them in Orlando on Sunday. They're going down Saturday morning to see if we can get an extra practice or two in. So college sports is real to me, and it's something that I'm passionate about. So that's one of the arguments that I have for taking that on. It's also let's look at some things about streaming technology. Let's look at some things about contracts. Let's look at the ever-present free agency. Let's look at the impact on communities. All these kind of things are out there. Thanks for getting started on such a great level. Okay, thanks very much.